Hello, it's nice to have you join us on the news at 5, reaching you live from Channels Television's global headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm Dominic Iwiwu with the stories and reports we're tracking at the moment. Now, 24 hours after moves to impeach Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy by the State Assembly, there are now reports of heightened security presence in most parts of Port Harcourt, the state's capital. Although the State Police Command is yet to speak on the heavy deployment of police officers, there is visible tension around town. And earlier today, the leadership of Ijaw Youth Council demanded that the president removes the FCT minister from office, alleging that he is the mastermind behind the fresh round of political unrest in the state.
The IYC Ijaw Youth Council condemned in its totality the unwarranted impeachment proceeding initiated against the people governor of Rivers State, the person of Sir Siminalayi Fubara. We call for the immediate sack of the FCT minister. The person of Barrister Nyesom Wike, as it has shown that he is not a true Democrat, but an enemy to democracy and good governance. IYC have also wished to regard and respect your Renew Hope agenda and can't allow a single individual to destroy the good democratic legacies your administration have displayed in the past 3 years of your administration. The IYC and the entire Ijaw ethnic nationality is behind your re-election bid for 2027 and that of Siminalayi Fubara for his second term as governor of Rivers State.
Now, meanwhile, the African Democratic Congress has begun the process to review its constitution ahead of party primaries for the 2027 general elections. National chairman of the party, Senator David Mark, who inaugurated the committee in Abuja, says the formal inauguration of the party's 22-member Constitution Review Committee is to represent all interests within the party while strengthening existing principles. The committee is led by Mr. Etigwe Uwa and is supported by several other party stalwarts, including Emeka Ihedioha, Enyinaya Baribe, Ralph Umosu, Professor Mohammed Sani Bello, amongst others.
It is necessary and timely to review our Constitution to ensure that it reflects present realities, that it anticipates future challenges, and that it aligns with global best practices in democratic party administration. This exercise is not about changing principles. It is about strengthening the existing principles. It is about ensuring clarity, ensuring fairness, inclusiveness, and accountability in our structures and processes. It is about creating a framework that empowers our members, promotes unity, resolves disputes fairly, and positions the ADC as a credible alternative for national leadership. And it prepares us also to take over when we win in 2027. Members of this committee have been carefully selected and chosen based on their experience, on their integrity, and on their commitment to the ideals of our great party. You carry a great responsibility. I urge you to approach this assignment with open minds, very broad consultations, and an unwavering commitment to the collective interest of our great party.
The National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Senator Sam Anyanwu, has expressed confidence that the African Democratic Congress ADC will not win any elective position in the country in the forthcoming 2027 general elections. Speaking at the party's New Year stakeholders engagement held at the PDP Secretariat in Owerri, the Imo State capital, Mr. Anyanwu states that the PDP is not in any coalition or partnership with the ADC. He warns that any party member who defects to the ADC does so at his or her own risk. According to him, despite the ongoing leadership challenges within the party, the PDP remains strong, united and formidable, particularly in Imo State. Our correspondent, Eita Kwekute, reports.
A lot of persons.
Supporters of the People's Democratic Party in Imo State gather at the party secretariat in Owerri for the party's New Year stakeholders meeting convened by the National Secretary Samuel Ayaun. The event is part of efforts to reassure members that the party is unshaken by the wave of defections and its structure remains solid across all wards in Imo State. Nevertheless, State Chairman of the PDP, Austin Nwachukwu, cautions members against engaging in anti-party activities which attract strict disciplinary measures.
In the last few days, I saw something like a makeshift attempt to derail the minds of some of our members across the state. We saw people who gathered together to say they are endorsing other party people. I want to reiterate here today, I don't hit and miss my target. If you are found endorsing other party members other than PDP people, we shall have no hesitation but to invoke our constitutional powers and deal with those people decisively.
Meanwhile, the National Secretary Samuel Ayaun denies reports suggesting that he plans to leave the PDP. He also dismisses the idea that the ADC is a strong opposition, insisting that the PDP remains the only viable and formidable opposition party capable of challenging the ruling All Progressives Congress.
They will come to you. Oh, PDP said, come to ADC. Let me tell you, mark my word, ADC will never get any position in Nigeria. Mark my word today, because you are not there. APC is the only party they may get something because they have a president. But here in Imo State, APC will go nowhere.
As part of activities marking the New Year stakeholders meeting, the party distributes food items to members across the 27 local government areas of Imo State. The stakeholders meeting underscored the PDP's renewed commitment to unity, discipline, and grassroots mobilization as it prepares for future elections. Eita Kwekute, Channels Television News.
The All Progressives Congress in Enugu State has commenced the e-registration of its members with plans to build a 2 million member base. Speaking during the flag-off of the APC e-registration exercise at Owo, Nkanu East local government area of Enugu State, Governor Mba, who is the leader of the party, stated that the exercise is a defining moment to concretize his movement from the People's Democratic Party to the APC. Governor Mba explained that the movement from the People's Democratic Party to the APC in October 2025 was not to displace those already in the House, but to make the House stronger, more viable, and more beneficial to the people of Enugu State going forward.
It's the flag-off of the APC e-registration in Enugu State, and the governor's homestead in Nkanu East local government area plays host to the leadership and members of the party as they begin the process ahead of the general election in 2027. Chairman of the APC in Enugu State, Ben Muyi, says the party has already trained staff for a seamless registration exercise.
Your Excellency, Enugu State took first in taking the step to train all the registration officers across the 17 local governments, the supervisors. Enugu State also took first in training all the registration agents in the 260 wards.
Deputy National Chairman South of the APC, Ima Enoku, commends the state government's efforts in building up the party.
Your Excellency, it may be important to explain what is e-registration. The party had been doing registration, and because everything, just like that smart school, that smart everything in Enugu State, the party is trying to copy you in being smart and also in the registration.
After completing the registration process, Governor Peter Mba calls for an end to fragmented politics and a deeper connection to the center which is supreme.
The Renewed Hope World Development Program is the answer.
He also promises to deploy all skills to ensure a solid membership base of at least 2 million persons ahead of the elections next year.
We're going to have a target of at least registering a minimum of 2 million persons here in Enugu. And we can do that because when we had this grand movement, the grand movement was not about Pitamba. It wasn't about the state government. It wasn't about just a particular arm of government. It was total. We had everybody moving with us.
It's the first time the state is holding an e-registration in the party, and members are hopeful that such a move will solidify the APC and help it retain power come 2027.
Now, as part of efforts to assess operational standards and infrastructure, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Idi Abbas, has reaffirmed the Nigerian Navy's commitment to combating crime and ensuring safety on the nation's waterways. The Naval Chief gave assurances after an inspection of facilities at the Nigerian Navy Reference Hospital and other ongoing projects in Calabar, the Cross River State's capital. Earlier, Vice Admiral Abbas paid a courtesy visit to the Cross River State's Governor Basio II, where the state's helmsman reaffirmed his administration's commitment to strengthening security and deepening strategic partnerships.
I have been going around to various naval commands and units and formations. And basically, I'm here to assess the operational capabilities of the Navy with a view to getting to know some of the critical challenges and, by extension, what needs to be prioritized towards achieving the mandate of the Nigerian Navy, which is the maritime security of the nation.
We have the greatest maritime assets that keeps Nigeria going in this particular sector of the country. Yes, there's need, quite all right, to build not just jetties, but also bases. Because like I told the CNS, anytime I'm going to the Cameroon border, before approaching, over 5 gunboats will immediately emerge. But our side is left like that because of some technical mistakes that were done sometime, which have highlighted to him that it has to be corrected. And Nigerian Navy has to show its presence there fully. I've already discussed with Mr. President about these issues, and that something must be done to make sure that our assets are well protected, both in terms of military and also in terms of economic sabotage.
The Abia State's Governor, Dr. Alex Oti, has inspected the ongoing construction of the Umuahia Central Bus Terminal, expressing satisfaction with the quality and pace of work as the project nears completion. Speaking during the inspection in Umuahia, Dr. Alex Oti said the project is designed to centralize all transport activities in the city, describing the terminal as a modern one-stop transport hub comparable to similar facilities in advanced cities around the world. While expressing optimism that the project would be substantially completed before the end of January, he stressed that quality delivery remains a priority over speed.
We thought we should concentrate all those transport terminals in this place instead of having different terminals at different places in the town. So, and I think it's come out well. The work is going on very well, and consultants are very, very up to the task, and I'm happy with the progress of work. Hopefully, before the end of this month, they would have gone far, even if they don't complete the project. If they would not have completed, they will be very close to completing it. But even if they need more time, I'll give them more time because it's better done right first time But so far, so good. I'm glad with the level of progress and with the quality of work. I think you should just be patient. Let me not preempt what is going to come. So just be patient and be expectant. But I'm sure you'll be happy with what you'll see.
You're watching the news at 5 live on Channels Television. Still ahead, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria says no Nigerian will pay more taxes with the new law. That's in the world of business when we come back. Welcome back to the looming industrial action planned by the National Association of Resident Doctors. A medical practitioner, Dr. Agbo Ebota, is calling for a strategic pause and renewed dialogue. Earlier today on our program Sunrise Daily, Dr. Ebota pointed out that much of the timeline set for government intervention coincided with the recent festive season, naturally slowing administrative progress.
When you see that you are unable to meet the MOU, the terms of the MOU, you should engage in good faith. You should not put the lives and blood on the table. It's just been about 4 weeks before the first salvo and warning about a strike was to come up. But you need to understand that the period that was given for some of the interventions to be put in place fell within the festive period, fell within a time where you need to bring certain parties together. The SGF, the government side, the committees, and all of those things. And this is the time when the wheel of government slows down a bit. So it would have been fairer to elasticize that time. Because at the end of the day, it's the Nigerians, the people out there, our siblings, our relatives, ourselves who would suffer to a large extent. Because if you go to a public hospital and you pay 1,000, 5,000 naira to see a doctor, during this period, you would go to a private hospital, that number would completely go up. So one is not saying that NARD must agitate. They should agitate. It's within their right. It's within their purview. But to a large extent, they should do it with some level of human trace. They should do it with some level of understanding of the dynamics of how the wheel of government works.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arraigned an Austrian national, Kavlak Onal, before the Federal High Court in Lagos for allegedly failing to declare foreign currencies totaling over $800,000 and another 651,000 euros valued at about 2.28 billion naira. EFCC prosecutor Bilikisu Buhari told Justice Yelim Bogoro that Onal was arrested at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, by officers of the Nigeria Customs Service Anti-Money Laundering Unit while in possession of the undeclared funds. Buhari said the two-count charge is punishable under Section 3, Subsection 5 of the Money Laundering Prohibition and Prevention Act of 2022. Onal pleaded not guilty when the charge was read, prompting the prosecution to request the trial date and his remand pending trial. Defense counsel Sterling Ihemora informed the court that a bail application had been filed and served, leading the judge to adjourn the case to January 16th for the bail hearing and order that the defendants be remanded in Nigerian Correctional Service custody. Now, in the world of business, no Nigerian will pay more taxes in the newly implemented taxation law, which has taken effect from the 1st of this month. And this is according to the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN. In a briefing with journalists today in Lagos, the Director General of MAN, Segun Ajayi Kadir, said that members of the Manufacturers Association were subject to over 33 different taxes, levies and charges imposed by various tiers of government and regulatory agencies before the recent tax reforms. The association also expressed strong support for the new tax legislation, citing that it is expected to streamline the tax system and create a more business-friendly environment. The new law, which took effect in January 2026, includes several provisions which aims to consolidate multiple charges into a single unified framework to eliminate nuisance and irritant taxes. The Nigerian Customs Service Semi-Area Command says it has recorded its highest ever monthly and annual collections with the generation of 3,628,485,590 naira revenue in December. A statement issued by the Semi-Customs Area Controller, Comptroller Wale Adenuga, says the historic and unprecedented revenue milestone is attributed to the effective rollout of the one-stop shop initiative by the Comptroller General of Customs, which improves the command's coordination and trade facilitation for stakeholders. Further highlights of the statement shows that from January to December of last year, the command generated a total of 15,598,945,794 naira, marking a remarkable 117% increase over the 7,166,576,397 naira revenue recorded in 2024. The Central Bank and the Nigerian Communications Commission have agreed on a framework to address consumer complaints arising from failed airtime and data purchased by customers. Under the new arrangement, subscribers who are debited without receiving airtime or data will be entitled to a refund within 30 seconds. In a joint statement, both regulatory bodies say the initiative was developed after months of consultations involving mobile network operators, value-added service providers, deposit money banks, and other industry stakeholders. The CBN and the NCC highlighted that framework is scheduled to take effect on March the 1st, subject to final approval by both regulators and the completion of technical integration by mobile operators, service providers, and banks. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, says it will be recommending stiffer penalties against domestic airlines that repeatedly cause flight delays. In a statement issued on Thursday, the airlines regulator explains that the move aims to address chronic inefficiencies in flight operations and ensure better protection for passengers. The regulator points out that majority of flight disruptions are not caused by airlines, but in some cases are due to weather or technical issues. Cases of flight delays have been a recurring concern for passengers using commercial airlines in Nigeria, as available data shows that domestic airlines recorded 5,225 delays and 901 cancellations out of 10,804 flights between September and October 2024, representing 4.83% and 8.3% of total flights. And still with aviation matters, African carriers recorded the strongest growth in international passenger demand in November last year, with volumes rising 11.2% year-on-year. According to latest report released by the International Air Transport Association, IATA, on global passenger markets, overall total passenger demand measured in revenue passenger kilometers grew 5.7% year-on-year within the period, with total capacity increasing by 5.4%. At the same time, IATA's latest report on global air cargo market shows that African carriers posted the strongest growth in cargo demand within the period, with volumes up 15.6% year-on-year. The figures, according to the International Airlines Body, showed that African airlines not only led the world in international passenger demand growth, but also expanded capacity to meet the increase in travel needs and accommodate rising shipments. The performance also highlights Africa's growing role in international air travel and the continent's ability to capture rising cross-border passenger traffic despite ongoing industry constraints. And that's it on business news and the news at 5. I'm Dominic Iwiwu. Up next is The World Today.